Valentine. Good morning. We're live at the federal courthouse, where in a few hours the Danny Masterson sentencing will be taking place. We are here considerably early to be the first people waiting, so that we can get our name on the list to try to get into the court proper. I heard from AA on this morning. He's going to be meeting us up here in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But Danny's got a ticket to be on the floor. There are a certain number of seats that are kind of a first come, first serve thing, and we are definitely in the first come variety. We're here quite early. We got a good jump on it, so. We will be going live the second that this thing is over. Literally the second that this thing is over, we're going to jet outside and tell everybody what the final verdict was. And it really is what the final verdict was. It's not just a clever expression. We will literally be telling you what the final verdict in this, the end of this cat's life. Hey, good morning, gamer. Justine, good to see you. Yeah, I think Gamer might have got in there just under the wire on that one, Justin. But, so honestly, we had no idea how this setup was going to take place. So we got over here about 5, no lie. We never knew. But we didn't want there to be a chance that any human being got here before we did. If we ended up getting bumped out of this thing by 1 or 2 people and we got here, late, it was going to drive us nuts. It also gave us an opportunity to get what could possibly be the best parking space in Los Angeles, California. Am I kidding? Seriously, Alan found a parking space. We were gonna Uber down here from the hotel room, and then sort of at the last minute just said, "Broom it, we're early," and so we cruised on over. We are absolutely ready to roll. Yes, alive and well. We made it through the desert road trip. It's actually it's not terribly long drive from where we were. It's a hop, skip, and an 8-hour jump. But yeah, we're actually I'm pretty fired up about this. I really am, to see justice done. It doesn't happen enough in. It doesn't have enough in the world. It certainly doesn't happen enough in society. And there was a couple of comments that were left on the last video about what his crime is, what his crime means. There's a couple of really fantastic comments. It's not something you want to take joy in. I talked about this last night. It's not something that you want to take joy in when you see somebody's life go down the toilet. But as somebody said, it's attempted soul murder. The crime that he's been convicted of is the attempted murder of a soul. And you know what? That carries very serious penalties, and it should. So this is justice served. And very often people get an idea that they're above the law and can do whatever they want, and that's simply not the case. It is 20 minutes until 7 o'clock, so it's 6:40 here currently in Los Angeles, California, and they popped the gates for the employees to go in at 6 o'clock. They actually had a little queue that was gathered up here. We thought that might be people for the trial, but it was all of the employees headed in at 6 o'clock, and at 7 they will open the doors and allow people to go in and start getting put on a list to be in the courtroom for the sentencing. And since our Australian correspondent traveled halfway around the planet for this for the opportunity to be here, we're going to ensure that we got here early and get ourselves into. Hello, Lydia Von Stretchclaw. Good to see you. Kathy, you made it. Kathy, I am so happy that you made it. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to, our goal is to try to be the first people to bust out of this and and let everybody know exactly what the sentence was. There a lot of predictions have been made. I talked to a person, I got an email from a person that made a really compelling argument for the fact that this dude may actually get life today. Really a compelling argument when he started going through all of the stuff that they can use as aggravated circumstances, all of the things that they can use to enhance his sentence. If the judge takes them all into account, this cat could get life. This is going to be a very interesting sentencing. And it's going to be, as I talked about last night, this is an opportunity for the judge to strut her stuff in front of an audience that she probably has never had before. You know, this is it's going to be a big house, and there's going to be reporters from all over the world in here. And this has an effect on anybody in any line of work, right? Whatever we do. Last night, sorry, very loud bus. Last night when we went live, we were going to go up and do a 5-minute deal and just tell everybody that we were here. And in a very short period of time, we ended up with about 150 people, which for the lifeboat is a lot of people on a live feed. That's a huge live feed for us. Changes how you do things. When more people watch what you're doing, it changes what you do. It changes how you think. And I promise you that all parties involved, the lawyers, the judges, everybody involved in this thing is going to be stepping it up. So I can't imagine that this is going to be a quick process. My gut is that this is going to be a very long and drawn out process. And then of course there's at sentencing for crimes like this, you have the impact statements from the heroes that made this happen, that made all of this justice take place. The Jane Does are going to have an opportunity to speak, which is awesome too, because they absolutely have earned that right. It took so much guts. If this was a normal, if these people were Catholics or atheists, this would be a very, very difficult thing for anybody to do, to come forward and go through that. But to do that knowing that you had the backing of that fine organization from, you had the entire cult, that was at their disposal to make life hell for these women. They're heroes. They're absolute heroes, and they're going to get an opportunity today to tell him, to say goodbye to him really properly. I mean, it's got to be, again, no one likes seeing a life thrown away, but there's got to be a great sense of relief that this dude's going to be gone and that justice was served. Let's see here. Kathy, there may be something to that. Kathy says that he may not she doesn't think he even understands what he's done wrong. There are people that are really messed up. Do they make DM listen to yeah, he has to listen to it. Oh no, he will not be refusing to attend anything. He's going to be there today. He will be in the court today. They are going to, there's a very, very little chance, if any, that he won't be here. They're very big about having somebody there for sentencing, so he will be there. And I was telling people, so a little inside info. He will already be in this building. I was telling Alan this morning, when I went for the last time that I went for the feds, when I went to sentencing, they wake you up at about 3 o'clock in the morning to get you downstairs and ready to go. And you sit in a holding cell downstairs. You could have been comfortable, but they put you in a holding cell until about 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. Then they feed you a bag breakfast, and they take you to the courthouse. And inside this courthouse, there will be holding cells. So it'll be just like it'll look remarkably like a prison cell without a bed. But there'll be a bathroom in there, and usually a couple of benches, and he will go in there. That is, again, that little holding cell is directly off of the court. So whenever you see one of the court rooms, there's usually two doors. There's one to the left and one to the right of the judge. Everyone I've ever seen, as you're staring at the judge, right, your right, the judge's left, that door right there is going to go to the holding cells. And that's where he will be sitting right now. Last night, without a shadow of a doubt, was the longest night of Danny Masterson's life. Make no mistake. that gentleman did not get any sleep. This has been a really, really long night, and now he's in there waiting, and he will be there. He's going to sit in that holding cell, and then sadly too is so you get sentenced at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? The sentence is, let's say the whole process is over at 11. He probably won't leave this building until 5. They will put him down in a holding cell, and they don't make special trips for people. So they're going to wait until every other inmate in this entire place gets sentenced, and then they're going to bring everybody back. He will not be the only person coming down here today in that bus. There will be in the van, there'll be a buttload of other inmates that are coming down who are going to be sentenced in other courts for other crimes. And so this may be the first time he's really been jammed in with other inmates, which is probably not, at the moment, it is 6:45 local time, 15 minutes to 7. The doors are open right now, but no one's allowed to go in for the purpose of trying to get on a waiting list, or nobody other than employees can enter the building before 7 o'clock, at which time we're going to go through security and get in there and do our thing. But yeah, this is he's miserable right now, I promise you. I've been in the desert with a horse with no name. Seagull, believe it or not, I sang that yesterday. It's funny that you say that, because I actually dropped that one on my partner, my navigator, yesterday. I actually did sing that on the way out. Stone Lux, good to see you. You grew up in courtrooms. Well, I spent a little time in them. I've been to my fair share of these things. This will be the third time that I've been to a sentencing where I was not the person getting sentenced. The last 2 times that I went as Captain Tommy Scoville, and I went in and spoke on behalf of people that were getting sentenced. And it is a lot more pleasant when you're not the person sitting in that chair. It is definitely a different feel altogether when you're wearing scrubs. That's the other thing. This is going to be the first time that his family sees him, or the world sees him. They've probably visited, but the first time the world will see him in out of street clothes. He's going to be wearing, whatever the color uniform is, probably orange, but he's just going to be wearing the disgusting prison clothes. I mean, jail clothes that probably 400 or 500 other people have worn. This is the reality day for the family, and I think for everybody else. This is when you look at him and he no longer looks like the guy from Hollywood. He's going to very much look like a convict on his way to spend the rest of his life in prison. And again, it's not that you take joy in seeing someone's life go down the toilet. Yeah, it was a way different experience. What was really funny too is I actually spoke on behalf of somebody in the same courtroom I was sentenced in, which was ironic. Not the same judge, but the same courtroom. And it was funny. I got up and I started talking, and I had on a suit and a tie, and I was probably about 7 or 8 minutes in before I mentioned that the last time I was in that room I was being sentenced. And yeah, it was a very different feeling than certainly better. And this one's going to be great. Will he be wearing green for protective custody? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what every city and every state's got a different PC code. Like where I was the last time, they wore baby blue. I know that when I was in Pahrump, they wore yellow, right? So it's every place has got a different color. If that happens to be the color for California, then he will absolutely be wearing PC green. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the county jail system out here, but if green is protective custody, then he will absolutely be sporting green, because he's definitely in protective custody. Absolutely. And I've had emails from people that seem to be confused. He's going to protective custody. When he goes into prison, he will be put into protective custody. However, protective custody does not mean everybody there is an SA. What it means is everybody there can't be on another yard for whatever reason. So if you happen to be a gangbanger who is selling dope and collecting money and stabbing people on Monday, but on Tuesday you get into a beef with the shot caller from that yard, on Wednesday you're getting shipped to a dropout yard. And that's the same place that Danny's getting sent. So that guy is no longer. I mean, he doesn't stop being a dangerous individual or a killer because he got sent to a to a dropout yard. It's still going to be a dangerous situation. And again, it's not something that you. Kathy says in Maricopa County they wear pink. I don't know why I'm not surprised by that. Maricopa County was famous in America for how badly they treated inmates. I know quite a bit of it has been changed since they got rid of Sheriff Joe Arpaio, but yeah, they used to brag that they had $1.80 a day in defeating each inmate in Maricopa County. So probably not a place you want to do time. It's in so it's near Phoenix. It's hot as hell, and they put these guys in tent cities, literally doing time outside. It's absolutely cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, it is what it is. I never cried at any of the crap that they did to me, but that's pretty tough, man. You know, people deserve to be punished, but they don't need to be degraded, and they don't need to be treated less than human. You really can tell a lot about the society by how they treat the people that they incarcerate. You know, it's a great quote, for a reason, because there's so much truth to it. You want to see how civilized a society is. Take a look at how they treat their incarcerated. But he's going to be wearing whatever the PC color is, if it's green. But we're going to let you know, because as soon as we come out, I'm going to be going live, and we'll give you a play-by-play and describe as best we can what was going on in the during the sentencing. Yes, Joe gone. So is Pink and Tense. Okay. Yeah, that was. Look at someone outside. I mean, it's the desert. The person deserves to be punished. But leave a comment, please. I'm sure I'll hear later what happened. You will. Thank you, Full of Hope. Great to see you, and I appreciate that. A comment does help, people. It really does. We're doing really, really well right now with the boat. The algorithms are treating us nicely, and it's because of all of you, and it's greatly appreciated. And we could not be any happier than to be here so that we can report back everything that's happening. I know that a lot of you have got seriously. We're invested into this, right? This has been a process. If you're brand new to this, if you're just catching the Danny Masterson stuff and you're jumping on a little bit late, this required 2 times that he went to court. The first time it was a hung jury, and I have never gone to trial in my life. I don't do it. I've always been guilty, so I always pled guilty. But the trial concept and all that this has been torture for the heroes. They had to go through this twice, and they say the really big difference between trial 1 and trial 2 was how much the cult was prominently on display. For the second go around, it was a completely different circumstance to how that was handled, and I think that probably had a lot to do with exactly why there was a different outcome the second time around. And there were actually 3 charges against him. He was convicted on 2 of them, each of which carries 15 to life. And because they are separate crimes, they will be run one after the other. They're not going to be run together. So he's looking at 30 years. He's going to have to bring them at least 30. So on his 30 to life sentence, I believe he's going to get at least another 10 on top of that, because it's all of the aggravating circumstances, the gun in one of the cases, and the use of the drugs, and it's just criminal mastermind stuff. It shows a level of sophistication of crime that's pretty tough. So Alan is over. They're starting to line up for Danny. He's up talking to some of the people that are getting here, and it's starting to get a bit of an atmosphere. Even at about 5:40 this morning, we were standing out front, and a guy walked by and pointed to the building, and he just said, "This is going to be a circus here real soon." And now we've got we got a bunch of black Lincoln Navigators that just pulled up in front. Really nice, big SUVs. I don't know, just kind of odd. Although I don't see anybody getting out of them. All right, peeps. We're getting pretty close. We got about 6 minutes. I'm going to go because people are starting to show up, and I'm not letting anybody get ahead of me. I'm Captain Tommy. Appreciate all you guys checking in. I am going to bust out as soon as this thing is over. I'll be right out here. I don't even know that we'll leave this little patio before we film. So, probably about 4 hours, I would imagine. Somewhere in there. Right? It's going to fire up around 9-ish. So we're going to be looking at, probably 11:30 local time, 12 local time, I would imagine, before we're back out. It's going to be a decently long process, I should imagine. But we're going to come back out as soon as we are open to do so, and we are exactly at the 5-minute mark. All right, everybody, the cat is in the basket, but she's not here. God bless. We'll see you guys after the trial. I'm Captain Tommy with the Mad Aussie. We'll see you shortly.